Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, patch 5.4 is live. It's in the system. The red dots are not going away. We don't know why, but it is happening. What's going on here? Plarium ID advantages. Get Plarium ID and play Raid on a desktop and get other benefits. It's hidden. It won't let me do it. What's going on? What is going on? Don't know. Anyway, that red dot doesn't go away because we can't seem to get rid of that. Oh, fix that one really quick, please, Raid. So let's look at a couple of things then. We have got new skins in the game. So far, skins have been a little bit kind of ropey. See, we've got a new dress on Coldheart here. Skins have been ropey because they've priced them insane levels for Arbiter. There's one that we can obtain just through the clan shop, but now we've got Coldheart in the mix. And we've got the Necrobia skin. I'll tell you what, actually looks a bit like not Soulbond. It looks a bit like the champion Steel Bowyer to me. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, am I like crazy over this skin? It's their version of an epic skin. I mean, anything's cool, right? Raid don't do a bad job on visuals ever. So, I mean, I think it looks better than Coldheart's base skin. I love the bow. The bow looks super sweet. It'd be interesting to see where they price a rare champion's extra skins. So far, we're not seeing a whole bunch of options to get these skins in the game, which is how they should do it. They should definitely have these as available to win, to earn, a fun thing for different events, not just more sales, more sales, more sales. But yeah, this one, actually, I really like it. Now I've had a chance to get a feel of it, I do like it a lot. Pyro class skin. Damn, this one's actually pretty cool as well. This is their legendary version. 100% for me just depends where they price it. If rare skins are like popping at, you know, that sort of $10 mark, then yeah, I'd pick up a skin. But if it's, you know, 30 plus, come on, Raid, you're smoking too much dope. But this is a cool looking Coldheart skin, honestly. I actually really like it. I do really like it. So look, skins are updated in the game. I think they're the only two that have come in so far. Hopefully, as they add more to the game, we will see a more reasonable kind of price point against them. So we do also have the new Fusion champion, Gaius the Gleeful. So, and these events are dropping, by the way. I've not seen the Fusion kind of time frame yet, but there will be a post on hellhades.com as soon as it drops with a kind of like, this is what you should be doing day by day. And I'm going to be going for this dude on both accounts, both my main and my free-to-play account. I do think he's actually super sweet. I mean, as ever, like, cool visual. I think maybe a little bit one-tone color-wise for me. But otherwise, cool. I like the kind of sickle things. Oozing like almost like a poison, looks like to me. But we know this guy's kit is interesting at worst. Cool at best. He's got a good base attack here, 1586. Good base speed as well, which is important if you're trying to get those bombs away. But the main thing which I love about this dude is his passive, which I'm going to be testing out as soon as I get him. Okay then, so we've updated the website against Gaius the Gleeful in terms of his multipliers. So we've actually got a double hitter A1, which is godlike. We've got an AoE ability, which is also godlike in terms of damage. And then we've got an A3 single hitter with 2 hits, which again is godlike. So every hit that he does is in the top 12.5% of their kind of their themes. Yeah. So if it's a single target, then he's in the top 12.5% of single target hits for both of his skills. And his AoE is in the top 12.5% of AoE hits. So that's thumbs up for damage in terms of Gaius. Now let's have a look at something else, which is really important for bomb champions, and that is the multiplier of the bombs. Each of the bomb champions, you'd hope they'd be the same, but they're not. Some of them have got, in this column here, column I, their own multiplier. So, for example, someone like Lord Shazar, the multiplier against his bombs is only 3.2 times his attack. Yeah, which makes, although he's got a really good kit, it makes his bombs tick for way less than some of the other champions. Someone like a War Mother actually goes above the base level of 5, goes up to 5.5, and then 8.5 if she's up against bosses. So that is the highest hitting bombs that you can get in the game. Someone like Astrolith, who has bombs that can't be resisted, has got a 5 times multiplier. Now, Gaius the Gleeful has got a 5 times multiplier on his AoE, which is strong. That's a positive number to see. And the passive, this is even more important for me. The bombs that are placed by his passive are also 5 times multiplier. So when attacked, 30% chance of placing a bomb on the attacker that detonates after 2 turns. I was expecting to see some books here to say goes up to 50. That's what I thought would happen, but it's not. It's just going to be a straight 30%. But still, these bombs also do 5 times his attack. Could mean he's the wrong affinity for Bommel, which sucks. I really wish he was not the wrong affinity for Bommel. Really sucks. I hate that they've done that. I really do. Because he could have been a very cool option for Bommel. But he's not. His bombs are not in that sort of decent setup. But anyway, I still feel like the damage numbers are strong. And what have we got here? 2, 7, 10 books is low generally for a legendary champion. So low amount of books. He hits hard. The bombs proc for good damage. And he's got a really interesting kit. I'm all over this dude. I think he's going to be a very, very fun champion to get. So, and they've already started to drop the different events. So you can see here, it's already started before they've put the calendar out. So we've got Finite Tournament is live right now. And there's also an Artifact event, which is live right now. And they've already kind of shown you that tomorrow and whatever is other events dropping. Now, one thing to be aware of, if you've got energy to use, then yeah, don't use it on Finite because you don't just want to leave energy sitting there unused. But you do want to try and tie in things like Dungeon Diver events alongside the different events, yeah? So, you know, if don't waste all your gems today, wait until events overlap to start to get maximum kind of benefit for your stuff. Just a quick tip. But yeah, Gaius the Gleeful looks good. So I'm just trying to run through a couple of the other patch notes which have been updated literally just now. We've spoken about the skins already. We've spoken about the changes to, or the introduction of the fusion. Okay, but we've also got a really interesting one here. So a gear removal cost event. Now they're doing this, I don't know how often they're going to do this, but it's now coded into the game. We've seen it in the code. We saw it in the code a couple of days ago, actually. So a new indicator has been added into the Bastion for when gear removal cost reduction events go live. I'm hoping they do these at least once a month. These events give you a great chance to try out new champion builds and new ideas. Good, Raid. At least 50% off, please. Even if it's, maybe do 100%. Some other games, they do like a 1 day or a weekend once a month where it's 100% cost reduction. But this is actually huge for the game. It's one of the biggest struggles. If I think about my free-to-play account, you know, one of the biggest struggles I've always got is gearing. Yeah, and on the free-to-play, like the old free-to-play, exactly the same challenge, gearing is the problem. So I'm pleased that they're adding that in. How often they do it, we don't know yet. We don't know any more info than that. And we've had some champion rebalances. I'm going to touch on the Ethos one. I think is a nothing change, honestly. The Anifwi one was the one that I was excited about. We're going to talk about that. Shiramani is just kind of almost tuned a bit down to the meta now. So reduced cooldowns, it's good. I don't think she's going to suddenly fly into like the best champion in the game. But I think anyone who's got her now, she's a bit more usable. So that's pretty cool. And there's a couple of other fixes in here. We've got some bug fixes, which there's not anything kind of crazy in here that we can see. Some game experience enhancements. They've added in like a little masteries quality of life improvement, just a kind of help icon. Doesn't really help you choose masteries. It just gives you a bit of a feel for how masteries work. Added a clan shop icon to pop up on the interface that shows you where you can acquire items and materials. Lower ranked champions will no longer be displayed in the upgrade tabs. There's a bit of a better improvement again in the tavern. The show upgradable only filter will no longer incorrectly hide champions with unupgraded passive skills. Thank you. Just a bit annoying. Again, quality of life stuff. And that's it really. So The other big change then is the Anifwi change. And we've looked at some numbers in the background. Yeah, so the thing with Anifwi is, let's just have a quick look at him before I talk about the numbers. The Anifwi change potentially is a game changer. Yeah, this champion is potentially high meta. Currently, there's so many revive type of champions in Arena and Doom Tower waves and that type of stuff that you do need people to stay dead. Yeah, and this guy's got a passive. Basically, enemies killed by this champion cannot be revived. Unless there's Lydia in the team. But she's the only kind of way that this stops happening. But you do want people to stay dead. And they've buffed his damage on his AoE. So he's got one of the highest based attacks in the game. Yeah, and I wanted to see where does his damage now fit in. Now, they can't throw him to the highest damage multipliers of the game because his passive would be totally broken. But they do need him to do enough damage that he can actually kill people. So at the moment, he struggles to put people down and he falls down like a wet paper towel. So I just want to show you some stats. And the column really that you want to look at is this column here. This is the damage ranking when you've got things like books involved and, the basics really. Masteries are in, books are in. This is the damage number that you get from your champions. So one champion I'm pulling out here is Phoenix. Phoenix is known as the godlike block revive champion. With his A1, he hits harder than just about any champion in the game, but it's all single hit. But he's probably the best champion in the game if you want to just kill someone and keep them dead. Yeah, and he's an epic. And he comes in at a whopping great 35k damage ranking on his A1. It's huge. Okay, so if we were to check Anifwi against those sort of numbers, let me just check. Yeah, so Anifwi here is kind of languishing down a bit further down. So he's not loving life after his change, honestly. He's got a 17k AoE hit. It's not terrible. And if we're talking about his sort of single target damage hit, he's got a couple. So he's got his triple hitter, which is actually strong. It's a bit softer than Phoenix's A1, but it's still enough to kill someone. So his A2 is enough to kill someone. His A1 is almost half the damage of Phoenix's A1. Yeah, so he needs the AoE to do a lot more work than it was doing. So let's just do a filter here and just pull up the AoE damage so that we can see what his AoE looks like versus the other big hitters in the game. All of this information, by the way, is on hellhades.com by champion. You can find all of this. It's not like it's hidden info. We've got all of this. So let's have a look. This isn't the full list. We just pulled out some big names in terms of damage just to give you a feel. Trunda then is a 31k. Leo, 28k. Up there as one of the best. Constantine actually is a high hitter, but he's only got one AoE, which lets him down a bit. We've got Ethos is kind of like the benchmark of the average, the high damage AoEer before you start getting into the normal folk. Yeah, so he's like between 20 and 22. He's got two abilities, both high. We've then got Gaius the Gleeful. His AoE ability hitting for 18.2k. So he's about 10% less damage than an Ethos. Foley is kind of known as the block revive champion in the meta right now. Foley hitting for 17.2. And Anifwi after his buff is a 17.1. Gembo is also well known as a high damage AoEer, 16.9. Kale, just for funds, 16.7. So it gives you a feel. He's kind of in that. He's in the mix now, but he's not in a godlike place. At least he's moved up to kind of strong. He's not in the top kind of 12.5%. He might be an option now. He might be an option for damage. The biggest problem with this guy is he's got a really low base health and a really low base defense. So he's very difficult to keep alive. It's very difficult. So I still feel like if you just want someone for block revive, just to try and take out a threat, then it might just be that our boy from the good old days, not in there, with his hairy chest, might just still be your answer. He's got similar stats to Anifwi. He's also bringing a bit more in his kit. I don't know, guys. I don't know if Anifi's change is quite enough to get him into the meta, but it is a change. He might now have some damage. So tomorrow on stream, I'm going to be building this dude out. We're going to be testing him versus Foley, versus Phoenix, and generally versus some of my nukers, and just see which one kind of is really worthwhile. You know, is this guy now risen to that Void legendary status or not? Because that's what we want him to be. We want him to be an absolute cannon. But I do understand the balance of we don't want him to just be the only option for the meta. And it is a pretty tough one when you've got someone that just makes sure that people stay dead. I will build him out. We'll try him on stream and see what people think. But there you go, guys. The patch, it's actually a pretty cool one, I think. I think there's some good stuff in there. And I guess we'll wait and see about things like skins. You know, are the rare skins going to have the same ridiculous price? Will we ever get rid of the red dots? Who knows? I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.